What is up, Retro Maniacs? My name is Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP, and we're here to talk about cards. This week we're going to take a little look into the future, and we're going to tell you about the future of card grading. Now, I kind of feel like the three of us are kind of experts in this field because we graded cards way back in the late 90s. Mm-hmm. So we have the ability to see how much it's changed from the late 90s to now. And now we're going to look probably, let's say, like 10 years into the future. I'm going to ask you guys a number of questions about card grading and want to hear your answers, but the answers are going to be 10 years in the future. So 10 years in the future, do you think that card cleaning will be acceptable by the major grading companies?
Oh man, that's a good question.
I have a lot of good questions.
Let me look into my crystal ball here. Let's see. I think if they can do I think the biggest issue with right now with the card cleaning is that there's no way to know what it's going to be like in 10 years, right? How is this card going to be in 10 years? I think in 10 years, they might have some of that data, right? They're going to see some of these cards that may or may not, wax stains returning, gum stains returning, scratches, the infamous 99 Topps Chrome film, right? Like some of these things will return. Some of them may not. So if they're comfortable, and I think Ryan Hogue said this, when they get to the point where they might be comfortable allowing it, they'll allow it. I think 10 years is enough time to look at a card that has been Kurt's card cared to determine whether or not it is. I'm going to say it's not. I'm going to say that the Kurt's card care stuff, it's going to come back. You're going to see the stains. You're going to see the gunk. You're going to see what the card should look like. So I don't think they will. But again, that's playing off if Kurt's card care stuff does not completely remove things and it starts coming back, the card companies will say, whoa, we were right. We're not going to allow this stuff. And they're going to keep their policy that they just implemented that we talked about on Monday.
Okay. EP.
I think 100% it's going to be okay. I think you look at the hobby right now, we're at that point, we're going to be in a nursing home. The three of us are going to be in a nursing home. We're going to be shouting at the sky or whatever for sure, because we old. Well, we're all the old guys shouting at the sky. But like if you look at the hobby, didn't you do a poll or whatever? Like I think it's 50-50, where 50% of the hobby is okay with this already, not even knowing what might be coming down the line in 10 years. So I think it's going to be okay. But maybe those cards have some sort of indication on the label or something, or that maybe they start doing something like that. But I 100% see it being okay with a lot of people in the hobby. I think we'll still be on the outside, fighting with them about it. But I mean, I really think that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. Next question is.
Whoa. What about you?
Yeah, I'm just asking questions.
You're just asking questions?
Yeah.
All right.
You guys are the experts. I'm just here the host.
Okay.
Nobody wants to hear my opinion. Plus, if I did it too, this would be like a 2-hour long video. So
that's fair.
Nobody wants that. This one is a 2-part question for you, though. Part 1, will all of the 4 major card companies that are around right now still be around? And will anybody have challenged PSA in like the number of cards that are being graded and value in 10 years?
EP, you take this one first.
Oh man, I don't. So you're talking PSA, SGC, BGS, and CGC.
Yeah,
or
correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think it would be. I think it'd be crazy to think that one of them isn't gone. And also be crazy to think that I don't think PSA gets challenged in 10 years, but I also wouldn't be at all surprised if they get challenged. Like the 10 years is a long time to be number one, but you think about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and Coca-Cola has always kind of been like number one. So I feel like, I feel like it's crazy to think that one of them won't be gone, but then it's also crazy to think that I mean PSA at this point, I think their lead is so good. They're so much far everybody else. So I think they're too far to within 10 years. Maybe it gets a little bit closer, but it's I don't think there's any challenge there at all.
Joe,
SGC will be gone. PSA will just there's going to be, again, looking at my crystal ball, there's going to be something that happens where SGC is just enveloped into PSA completely. Like whether it's this is our vintage arm, maybe there's a little, they're not going to be independently SGC, even though everyone says they are. They're really not right now, and they're not going to be in 10 years. They're going to be enveloped fully into PSA, in my opinion. As far as the second part, will anyone catch up to PSA? So PSA, let's just say for this easy numbers, they grade about 1 million cards a month, right? Mm-hmm. If for someone to catch up to PSA, it's not going to be someone grading 1 million cards as well. It has to mean that the hobby has taken a turn where not as many people are grading. So PSA's numbers come down, but those people who are stalwarts, I think it would be CGC if it's anyone, to be honest, because they grade a lot of Pokemon, TCG, the non-sport stuff. If anyone catches up to them, it will be CGC, but I think it's more PSA's numbers have come down and CGC has kept their base of TCG folks. So PSA goes from 1 million cards, say 500,000 cards, and CGC can come up to that. If PSA is at 1 million cards, no. If PSA is at 1 million cards a month, no one is ever catching up to them.
Okay. And, the one thing I will add here is, 20 years ago when BGS was the number one, they did not have anywhere near the numbers or the lead that PSA has. So, right. While things have changed before, PSA is just so far out in front. I would be surprised if I see a change in 10 years. Next question. Do you think there will be more, this is another two-parter, more consolidation in the grading? Maybe two of the bigger companies combine, maybe one of the bigger companies buy a smaller company, just any kind of consolidation at all. And will there be any new grading companies crack into the big four? Yeah, we're just basically saying having numbers that are equivalent now to BGS, CGC, SGC, or PSA.
So the first question, will anyone kind of consolidate. So going back to the previous question, yeah, I think PSA and SGC just consolidate. I think at some point that'll just be one company. I will say, if CGC wanted to make just a baller move, buy Beckett. They're your number one competition in comic books, right? They are the PSA to SGC, right? They're the number two, and the numbers are probably pretty similar in terms of percentages of what's graded, with CGC and CBCS versus PSA and SGC, right? So I've had 2 beers and I got that pretty close. I just
very good.
Excellent. Yes.
Acronyms are not your strength.
Oh, not great at all.
So many C's and G's and S's.
I know, right? So, I mean, if they did something similar where CGC bought their competition, which would also include the card side of it. So I could see that happening. Absolutely. So we'd have 2 consortiums, so to speak, of card grading, the PSA collectors and then the CGC, and it involves all the comic books and their ancillary stuff as well. So I think that could happen. To your point about breaking in, well, if there's only 2 companies, yeah, sure, 2 will break into the big 4, but to what you were actually probably alluding to, I don't think so. There's all these upstarts. The 3 biggest ones right now, or I guess CGC is the newest, but again, they did the comic book thing. But PSA has been around forever, BGS has been around forever, and SGC has been around forever. The only one that's kind of pushed against that is CGC, but like I said, they have that other stuff. I don't think anyone jumps in. No one's jumped in since 1999 or 2000 or whatever. Right, I don't think anyone else is going to.
All right. EP?
To the first part, consolidation, I believe, is definitely going to happen, whether it's one of the big 4 combining with another big 4 or a smaller one. My hope is, I hope it happens. I hope like a new company comes along with an actual good new technology, and then that one of the big ones comes says, okay, well, we're going to buy you and use your technology, whether that is AI grading that actually works, whether that is like new technology for the slabs, whether it's any of those things. I want to see somebody who anything like that can enhance one of the things. I could totally see that happening. The second part, I feel like it almost has to happen. I don't think they're going to challenge PSA like go right to the top, but I feel like you're going to have over the course of 10 years. I feel like somebody has to kind of like get to number 4 or get close to number 4. I feel like that I have a feeling that's going to happen.
Okay. Easy one. Do you think the volume of cards being graded will increase, stay the same, or decrease in 10 years?
It's your turn, EP.
I can't see it. It's not going to keep increasing. That's 100%. That's not
what we've been saying for years already.
Right. But I mean, there's no way. But like, it's oh man. I think it probably increases. I think it increases from where it is now. I'm not saying it's going to continue to increase, but I think there's going to be more cards graded in 10 years than they're being graded right now.
Okay. Joe.
The generation we want to come into the hobby and kind of, oh, hey, look at all the 14-year-olds that are at card shows buying and selling $5,000 cards. Have they ever seen a raw card?
Right.
Like
other than when they pull out of the pack and send in to get graded, right?
Right. I don't even, yeah, exactly. So I think, sadly, it does increase because this generation behind us and the generation behind them, that's what they're trained. They're trained
what
to
you do
cards out of the pack and send them to be graded. So as that generation gets more prevalent and has more money, if they stay in the hobby, absolutely it'll increase.
And they don't outlaw plastic. If they don't like it, that would be another big thing. If they outlaw plastic somehow, then we're in trouble. But
I've been pushing for the environmental impacts.
Wow. Okay, next question. Will the PSA 9 value, now I'm talking ultra modern cards, not older stuff, but we've all seen right now the PSA 9s in a lot of cases aren't selling for what raw cards sell for. Do you think that the price of a PSA 9 will climb? Will it drop below what raw cards are? Or will it stay right around what the raw price is? Joe.
It's gonna drop below.
Wow.
Because you can have this PSA 9, but there could be a boat in this box, right? My Family Guy analogy I always make, right? Oh, I could take the boat, but there could be a boat in this box. Because people are always going to look at the raw card and see what could be. They're going to look at the 9 and either think I can crack it and maybe see what could be. But I don't have to do all that work with a raw. I can just buy the raw, maybe microfiber it and send it off to be graded. I think at best equal, but probably in 10 years, it's going to be below the value of a raw card because of the chance out of 10.
Okay. I agree 100%. Ultra. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people think if I have a 9, I can crack it and resubmit it. But I think that's what keeps it at the price of the raw cards, as opposed to being more than. So I agree. I believe that for ultra modern, it's going to go below. I think for like R90 stuff and earlier than that, I think the 9s eventually go up in price. But yeah, the ultra modern stuff, I agree 100% with Joe. Like it's going to go down. It's going to be worth less than the raws.
And you said that you think that card cleaning will be acceptable, and if they do that, that's definitely going to lower the price of a 9 too. Yeah. Because if you're not cleaning the card, like what are you even doing?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, next question. PSA 10 values. Do you think with more and more 10s coming out, with more and more cards being graded, are we going to see the PSA 10 value come down closer to a raw card over next 10 years?
I think it's my turn to go first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should come down, but I don't think they will. I think because the hobby had, like Joe said, there's generations that think about the PSA 10s in the hobby, and it doesn't matter. Even if there are a billion of them out there of a one card, I still think they're like, oh, this is a PSA 10, so it's got to be this price. in the real market, it should go down. But I think it's like the people that still hold on to Justin Herbert cards, same kind of situation where the 10s are going to retain their value because of where we are in the hobby. It's 10 years down the road. We can't really look into our crystal balls, but we have no idea for sure.
I will say, poor Justin Herbert, the amount of drive-bys that guy takes from our podcast. So I think PSA 10s will be below raw because people could buy a raw and maybe get an 11. Is that a thing?
They're going to bet the 11s between now and
hell yeah. Mike, is that a question? That should be a question. Or is there going to be a PSA 11?
We should go. Creator grading companies should be just 11s, not just 10s.
11s, right? Yeah. Why stop at 10, baby?
Exactly.
You know what? I was gonna take the opposite take on this, but EP might have convinced me that just because people see that 10, they don't really care. My initial thought is, as the census balloons and everything gets graded, if everything's a 10, nothing's a 10 kind of philosophy we've talked about before, as everything gets graded, it should pull down the value of 10s. But you might have convinced me, EP. People are just trained that a 10 should have this ridiculous value. Right. So I'm torn on that one. But yeah, my initial thought was they should go down as the census gets bigger.
Okay. Sub question: do you think the other grading companies' 10s will be worth as much as raw or less?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll take the lead on the sub question, EP. If Beckett is still around, huge caveat, right? Huge asterisk is if Beckett is still around, I think their 10 will be above, because that's, especially the black label, that's got some mystique to it, right? It doesn't happen very often. So I think their 10s could still be above raw. But man, I think that it has to be a 10, not a 9.5 from SGC. It has to be a 10. They will still be above raw, but anything below 10, and I mean a 9.5, that's below raw, right? 9.5 is below raw. 10 will still stay a little bit above raw, and then the pristine 10 will be a little bit above raw, a little bit more above raw, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think I guess and it also has to be from one of the big companies. It's got to be SGC, CGC, or BGS, right? I mean, there are 10s from anybody else that doesn't matter. It's got to be a 10 from one of those. But yeah, 10s probably are above raw, but it's got to be above. Got to be from one of the big companies. So.
I will let you guys know that I just saw a post on X that they were talking about a Will Levis SGC 10 Select XRC rookie card that sold for less than a raw one so far. It was only a couple dollars, but the SGC 10 sold for less. I know, crazy.
What is going on?
All right, next question. Will AI ever truly be used by any major grading company to grade a card?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'll explain it. I mean, people want 10s. So they want the human factor of someone giving them a 10. They want that guy who just had a great night the night before, coming into work, doesn't hit a lick of traffic, has the best caramel macchiato he's ever had on the way to Starbucks. He's feeling great, got laid the night before. I mean, whatever. Grading your cards. I mean, you want to take the chance that you're going to get a 10. If it's down to a computer, and I've been consistent on this since episode 1 probably, but like for a long time, people don't want AI. They want 10s. If you bring an AI, you're not going to get the 10. You're not going to get the gem rate that you've been getting by humans grading your cards.
Yeah, I think AI helps. It can help graders, but the bottom line is that they have to be graded by a human. And I think that's, I agree 100%. Like that, I don't like. Not only do I not think people would like it, I also think is it even possible to have AI grade the cards? That's the bottom line. I feel like you need to have a human being look at this collectible to be able to say what it is.
That's great. And yeah, like you always have to have that extra set of eyes on it anyway. And let's be real. People, as much as they complain about the randomness of grading, they also love the randomness of grading.
Yeah.
They would miss it if it was gone. Absolutely. All right, the final question. Do you think there will be anything innovative done by any of these grading companies 10 years from now? Or will we fast forward 10 years? Will everything pretty much just be the same? EP, I think you're first.
I go first.
Yep.
You mean other than adding flow lines to the
other than the flow.
Other than flow lines? Okay. All right. I mean, no, I don't think there's anything that changes. I would love if there was, but like, what would it be? Like, we're gonna put the label on the bottom? Like, I don't think like, you know, like what are they gonna do? Like, they can't do much of anything. We've had HGA do the horizontal slabs, which again, like I'm a person who I like to have this, like a lot of collectors are like me where they want, like, I have a box that this fits in. I have these top loaders, all these sorts of things. Like, I don't want anything that's odd from that. So I don't think they change the shape of the slabs, other than changing some, like the aesthetics of labels and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything major.
Okay. Joe?
1000% agree. I mean, I've made the comment before. I've used the little Seinfeld clip before of George saying, "Oh, isn't toilet paper? You know, toilet paper's never changed." And then Jerry and Elaine are like, "What about triple ply? What about, you know,
Right.
the smaller pieces? What about, you know, 12 packs, all the different stuff?" Yeah, there's small changes in toilet paper, but toilet paper's pretty much stayed the same since they came out with toilet paper, right? And not to compare grading companies to toilet paper, kind of am.
BGS?
BGS. I mean, honestly, all of them.
Bing, bing.
Yeah, bing, bing, bong, bong. So I will say, I don't think much will change other than some of that little ancillary stuff, like you said, EP, like, you know, maybe some changes to the label. Think about it. If you pull up a PSA slab from 1999 and look at a PSA slab from today, sure, it's medical grade plastic. What's really changed? I mean, the label has changed a little bit. It's got the lighthouse versus not, but really, it's pretty much been the same thing for the last 20, 25 years. Is it going to change much? People like consistency, no matter what they say. People like, you know, to be comforted by normalcy. And I think that's what the grading companies offer for the most part.
All right. It's like a nice worn pair of blue jeans. So.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
hey, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, we're experts at this. I mean, what we said, you know, is going to happen because we know. Yeah. We have crystal balls.
Balls.
Yep, we do.
Balls of crystal. So, but let us know what you think down below. And see everyone Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Don't forget. Yeah. Saturday night, live
June
stream.
29th.
June 29th. Be there. We're going to be there. Why don't you be there?
Bring a beer.
Nothing going on. You're watching us. You have nothing going on.
If you were here, we'd give you a beer, but you have to bring your own for this one.
Yeah, you have BYOB on this situation.
Yeah. All right, guys. That was a lot of fun, and we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.